Gabriel Martinelli, Arsenal's best player last season, is not featuring for Arsenal, and questions about his future at Emirates are getting louder. And this is what we are going to be discussing today. I want to welcome you back to Black Maggot Media, the heartbeat of the game. So let's get to the story. Today we have a major Arsenal story to discuss. It is all about it's all about Martinelli. For the two games we have watched so far this season, leave alone the pre-season games. Talk about Community Shield and then match day 1. Martinelli has not featured in any game. And why has one Arsenal's most important attackers been left out? Is Mikel Arteta preparing for the life without Martinelli? And which other players could leave Arsenal before the transfer window closes? Stay with us because we are breaking down the situation right here on Black Maggot Media. Let's begin with Martinelli. Why is he not playing? The Brazilian winger was left out of Arsenal's squads for the Community Shield and against Manchester City and the Premier League opener against Coventry City. That immediately created questions among Arsenal supporters. Is Martinelli injured? Is this simply a tactical decision? Or is Arsenal protecting a player who could be transferred? Recent reports strongly connect his omission with the uncertainty surrounding his future. TalkSport reported that Martinelli and Ethan Nwaneri were expected by some sources to leave before the transfer window closes, although Mikel Arteta has insisted that both players remain important to his plans. So some sources suggest that these players are supposed to leave the team. It's why they are not playing. But the manager himself says the players are still important to him. That's why Arsenal has turned down the opportunities of buying Nwaneri on permanent. Instead, he has to go on loan because he still needs him. Arteta has Nwaneri in his plans. So there is another important factor. Arsenal have strengthened their attack, including the arrival of Christos Zolis, who can operate from the left side. That creates a greater competition for Martinelli. Martinelli has become an important player for Arsenal since joining the club in 2019, but competition for places has become extremely intense. And when a player is not even making the match day squad naturally, the transfer rumors become louder. But Arsenal have not simply decided that Martinelli is unwanted. The situation is more complicated. One of the biggest stories that has been interest from Galatasaray. Reports indicate that Galatasaray made a substantial offer for Martinelli, believed to be around £38 million, but the Brazilian was reluctant to make a move. This is a very important detail. The decision is not entirely Arsenal's. Martinelli also has a say in where he wants to play, and reports have suggested that he would prefer to remain at Arsenal rather than immediately move to Turkey. So we have an interesting situation. Arsenal may be open to listening clubs that are interested, but Martinelli himself has not necessarily pushed for the exit. That means a transfer is far from guaranteed. Arsenal's reported position has also been that has also been that they would need a right replacement before sanctioning a departure. No wonder. That's why they are delaying to bring in Yildiz. Kenan Yildiz from Juventus. Juventus are just beating about the bush that they don't want to sell that player. But should Arsenal table 85 million euros, which is equivalent to 85 million pounds, which is equivalent to 100 million euros, which they need, they will definitely release the player. But of course, Arsenal cannot go into the market there to buy a player of that amount, and yet Martinelli, who can also play the same number, who has Premier League experience, who knows how to play with the fellow Arsenal mates, when he's there. So Martinelli's stay at Arsenal has delayed the signing in of a left winger. Remember, Arsenal wanted to sell the two left wingers whom they have been having, that is Leandro Trossard and Martinelli, and bring upgraded players. But now here comes a situation whereby Martinelli doesn't want to leave. There is even a report Fabrizio Romano broke to us that a Saudi team is considering Martinelli as one of the players that they want to sign into their team, apart from Pedro Neto and another player. So Martinelli is one of those players, but Martinelli is reluctant to leave. Now this is where Arsenal supporters may have different opinions. Martinelli has scored important goals for the club and has shown tremendous pace, energy and attacking ability, but football is about squad evolution. Arsenal have invested heavily in the improving of their attack, and if Arteta believes another winger can provide more consistency, creativity or goal contributions, the club could decide that Martinelli's transfer value should be used to strengthen another era. They can use that money. They can decide to say Martinelli, if any team wants Martinelli, they should bring in maybe like 85 million pounds, just like Saudi. The report from Fabrizio Romano tells us that Martinelli is reluctant to leave. He wants to play in England, but if they give him some money, some bigger money, if Arsenal receives some bigger money from this Saudi team, then they will definitely trigger the deal. They will give the other team a green light. They will see how to talk to Martinelli and let the player go. So there is also financial side. So if Martinelli is sold, Arsenal will have a financial muscle to go and buy a player who can be an upgrade to play that number. So Arsenal have already spent heavily this summer. Recent reports list confirmed departures, including Leandro Trossard, Jacob Kiwior, Christian Norgard and Karl Hein, generating significant transfer income. Selling another highly valued player could help Arsenal balance the squad and potential finance another major signing. So Arsenal needs to generate income from the sales to bring in another player. And of course, these players that I have just told you, Leandro Trossard, Kiwior, Norgard and Karl Hein, they have not generated some good money. I don't know why Arsenal is not good at selling. They are not good at selling at all. So they don't know how to make business. They still have that problem of of selling. They sell cheaply, yet they buy expensively. Look at Norgard. He spent one season, they brought him at about £12 million, and he was sold to Everton at £7 million. So would selling Martinelli actually make Arsenal stronger? That's a debate. Martinelli is not only Arsenal's player whose future has attracted attention. There is also Gabriel Jesus, who has been mentioned in transfer discussions, with reports linking him with possible moves away. And then Ethan Nwaneri, the young midfielder, remains highly rated, but his future has also generated speculations following his limited involvement and previous loan spell at Marseille. Kepa Arrizabalaga is another player whose future could be affected by Arsenal's goalkeeping recruitment, Ilan Maslia. While Kepa's position in the squad has therefore become something to watch. We also have Fabio Vieira. And then we have Nelson. All those are departures whom Arsenal can sell in to raise income, to raise some money to go and buy a player. And the big question is, will Gabriel Martinelli still be an Arsenal player after the transfer window closes? At this stage, we could not say that he is definitely leaving. There are interests. There have been offers, but Martinelli's own position and Arsenal's need for an adequate replacement could determine what happens next. So this brings us to the end of this show, to the end of this edition of Black Market Media, the heartbeat of the game. So Martinelli's future remains one of the biggest Arsenal stories to watch, while Jesus, Nwaneri, Kepa and Vieira could also be involved in the club's outgoing business. Will Martinelli stay? Will he leave? Or will Arsenal dramatically transfer a twist arrive? Subscribe to Black Margot Media, like the video, share with fellow Arsenal supporters, and turn on the notification. This is Black Margot Media, the heartbeat of the game. Thank you for watching. I salute you.